Welcome to Boroughs and Burbs with hosts John Engel and Roberto Cabrera. Over the next hour, you're going to learn some insider knowledge that will help you overcome and strategize in the cutthroat world of real estate. Now, here are your hosts, John and Roberto.
Welcome, everybody. Boroughs and Burbs, number 137. Everybody wants to be a millionaire. What does that mean? That means that we all want to buy our $1 million house. And that's this week's theme. Who wants to be a millionaire? We've got experts in Los Angeles, New York, and Las Vegas to help us navigate the $1 million market. But before we do that, I just want to share my screen here. And let's see, we're going to start with gracefarms.org. I want you to come visit Grace Farms, 80 acres in New Canaan, Connecticut. And I want you to be aware that they have a center, they have a permanent design exhibit now for the Design for Freedom. And the Design for Freedom is all about the $13 trillion construction industry. It's the highest risk of forced labor among the major industries, and they are trying to do something about it. If you go to designforfreedom.org, you can learn how you can take action. And one thing you can do is visit Frank, that's Frank, in the tea house, and you can buy their teas and coffees at Grace Farms or online and support their mission. And with that, I want to introduce McKenzie Ryan in New York. Say hello, McKenzie.
Hi, everyone.
There's McKenzie Ryan. You see, she's very stylish. 80,000 people want to know what McKenzie's selling on Instagram.
More or less, yeah.
That's right. I got Cindy and Misty in Los Angeles. There they are. We got 35,000 people watching what they're selling in Los Angeles. We've got them as our experts. And we've got Michele Sullivan in Las Vegas. Say hello, Michele.
Hello, everybody.
And there, we're going to stop sharing the screen. We're going to get to see you. And we're going to ask the question, what can I buy for $1 million? And the reason for the show is, I think that this show intersects with two pools of buyers. I've got a pair of 27-year-old daughters. One of them wants to buy her first place in New York, and I can't imagine her spending more than $1 million. If she gets even close to $1 million, she's going to need my help. So I imagine that my daughter and I are going to go searching together for her first home in New York. She has a twin sister out in LA. Same thing. She's going to look for her first home one of these days. And I think she's in the market for a less than $1 million house or condo in LA. So that's why I think it's important. I also, when I see my peers, they talk about getting a second home. And so I want to talk to you about not only the first home market for millennials, but I want to talk about the second home market for old people like me who want to get their beach house, who want to get their pied-à-terre, whatever it is. So with that, what have you got for me? What are we talking about here?
Well, in New York City, you can actually get a good amount for $1 million. Of course, you can spend $5, $10, $20 million, but we're actually in a really great place in the market where between Manhattan, between Brooklyn and upper parts of Manhattan along the Hudson River, which is really scenic and beautiful, you can get anywhere from a one-bedroom condo to even a kind of junior one, which means you have a bedroom plus a dining room alcove that could be converted into a future bedroom if you need an office or you have a big shoe collection or you want to have a kid in the future. $1 million, believe it or not, in New York City can still get you a great space. And moreover, can also set you up for a nice investment, whether you're looking to live in it personally, or if you want to use that, as more of a rental property that you rent out for and rents are through the roof in Manhattan. So you can rent out a one bedroom anywhere kind of starting at $5,000 for the entry level to $6,000 to $7,000, depending on the actual space itself. What we do on our team, it's like a really big mix of either starter homes for people or trophy properties for people who've been, working in real estate for quite some time. So good news for your daughter. She may not need to come to you and ask dad for a little assistance in purchasing, but if she does, there's many ways that you can do it without being a co-purchaser as well.
Do I give up on location? I mean, they say location, location, location in real estate. Do I give up location in order to buy that entry-level $1 million apartment? Do I have to get further away from my commute?
No, you can actually live in prime neighborhoods like Chelsea for 800,000, 900,000. You can live in prime neighborhoods like the Upper East Side or Upper West Side. In Brooklyn, you can live in Park Slope, Cobble Hill. You can live close to Prospect Park, which, of course, is the crown jewel of Brooklyn. Just hundreds of acres of the Esplanade and, the botanical gardens. So no, you're not living like out in the sticks. If you're spending $1 million, you can be very prime. You could be close to your office, of course, if you're in Midtown and want to just walk on Park Avenue. It's one of the best times actually to be a buyer in New York. And I don't say that because I'm a real estate broker. There's just a lot of really quality inventory out there that is not pushing you into the $2 million, $3 million range. So if you want to be a millionaire in New York, or you want to buy that $1 million property, there's a lot on the market.
So she's in Chelsea now, about a couple of blocks, 2 blocks west of Times Square in the theater district. And she's renting, I think they're renting a 1-bedroom for probably $4,700 a month. And they just went offered a larger 1-bedroom for, I think, $5,300 a month in Chelsea, which is one of the better neighborhoods. But that's a new building. Can she get a new building? Can she get a doorman? Can she get the modern amenities? Or is she going to be trading out of this newish building with the amenities and have to get some sort of crumbly 100-year-old, scary place with substandard plumbing?
So those are called pre-war buildings.
Oh, okay.
They're not all falling to the ground. They're actually built with very quality materials. No, when you're getting into the brand new, let's call it a new condo or new construction, you're really out of the $1 million price point. A starter new development 1-bedroom is really around 1.5 on the low end. So, I think for young people, we're not really living in our buildings in that sense yet. It's not like you have a limited amount of time between work and kids and getting them to school where you kind of need all those amenities. I think for young and especially millennials, our amenities are outside of the building. It's going to restaurants, it's working out, it's shopping, seeing friends, theater, things of that nature. So you really want to focus on getting the best space possible and being in a neighborhood where you can really just be out and about and living your life.
I'm showing on the screen 2 listings you sent me. The first one is 62 West 87th Street, just as an example of what I can get. This is a $700,000 1-bed, 1-bath, 3-room apartment. That's typical right here.
So this is a developer that we work for, and we're selling off all of his units that he owns on the Upper West Side. So for anyone listening who's not familiar with the Upper West Side, it's bound by 2 of the best parks, Central Park and Riverside Park, home to just some of the best restaurants. And it's really kind of old school New York. So this is a great listing because for $700,000, basically your down payment is $140,000. Your maintenance is $1,400. So the financials of it make a lot of sense for someone who might already be spending, $5,000, $6,000 and want to get their first apartment, and kind of really are living there for the sense of the neighborhood. They have a dog, they want to be close to the park. So it's a great option. You can click the next one, I'll share. So this now is in Park Slope, again, near the park I was mentioning, Prospect Park. It has private outdoor space. If you look at the monthly taxes and common charges, you're at basically $400 a month, which is
wow,
unbelievable. I mean, this apartment flew off the market, and should be going into contract tomorrow. So, this is another starter apartment, but it also serves as an investment, which is one of the nice reasons if you are getting into your first home and you don't know how long you're going to be there, it's important that you understand what your monthlies are going to be, because a lot of people in their first apartments live there for 3 years maybe before they, meet their partner and they move on to that larger home, but they're not ready to give up that first unit. And so being able to rent it out and kind of turn it into an investment is a really great idea for anyone who wants to be a millionaire.
All right, we're going to come back to you on what old people do when they want to pee at a chair. But before that, I want to go over to Michele. Michele, tell me about Las Vegas. I think you sent me some examples, but just give me a sense of the general market. Is $1 million middle of the market, bottom of the market, top of the market? How far does $1 million get me in Las Vegas?
So the trajectory of pricing has certainly gone up in Las Vegas in the last 10 years. We're seeing so much growth on the Strip with the Sphere and the F1. We are soon to get a baseball team. The Tropicana is going to get, imploded, and they're going to bring in the Oakland Athletics. We're getting a bullet train from California. So majority of the buyers are coming from California, Southern California, Northern California. And it used to be $1 million would get you a lot in Las Vegas. It still gets you a nice amount, but just not as grand as it used to be 10 years ago. And I had sent you a couple of listings. I've got a new loft style one over on Deer Creek, which is 4,600 square feet, 2 minutes. Oh,
Is that this one or the other one?
Well, we could talk about this one. This one
Okay.
is the Northwest. So this is going to be more geared towards a family of schools and, that whole sense of community. Walking trails are important to you. This one's listed at 875, a little bit under 4,000 square feet. Checks all the boxes though, in terms of bedrooms. You have a private pool, private spa, and when you compare this to New York or California, it's, a lot of square footage, and the area is decent. It's just further out. So you're going to get more bang for your buck in the suburbs than you are in Summerlin, which is one of the master plan, top selling master plan communities, or anything in or near around the Strip is going to be priced a little higher.
How far
of a commute is this? Curious. How far of a commute is this to like the center of everything?
This one is about 30-minute commute. But what's nice is if you work remote, you're going to get a lot of square footage. This home is practically new. The school district is really good. And the community itself is Sky Canyon, is a master plan community that's really geared around an active lifestyle, getting the community together, doing your Pilates on Saturday mornings. They have a clubhouse that is the center of the community where everyone meets, and there's a park, and, just a lot of interactive social activities in this particular area.
Half hour, 4-bedroom house, a half hour from work. How does that sound, Roberto?
I don't know, it's 3,400 square feet. That's kind of alluring, but I don't know. I live in Manhattan, so everything's like right there. So it's hard for me to.
Yeah, that's the biggest challenge. Is this is going to be a little bit of a drive, whereas the other one, I sent you another one on Deer Creek, the 5611 Deer Creek, which has very New York vibe. I love it because it's unique to Las Vegas. I just listed it, and it looks like an industrial loft. And that one's right at about $1 million. And the homeowners that are in it now, they have 4 kids and they just need to get into something that has more bedrooms. But this is a fantastic listing, which is 5 minutes from the Strip. You can actually see the Strip from the balcony in
this one.
Yeah, this one's fantastic.
Okay.
It's my favorites. It's got the floors, the floating staircase that's, steel. It just has a very industrial feel, so unique to Las Vegas. It has a basement.
Can I get it for $1 million? It says it's 1111. Can I get it for $1 million?
It could, I don't know. We haven't received any offers on it. We just listed it a few days ago, but it's had a showing every day. And it's just one of these properties that's really fun. You see the trendy, blue cabinets in the kitchen. And that's what these younger buyers want. They want something that's different. They want something that's fun, that doesn't necessarily feel like a traditional, single family home. And you can see the photos that we're going over now, that's the primary, which
Wow.
really, it's an open feel and the space is massive. So
What are
So
tax?
can you
What are
tell me about sorry, can you just tell me about the construction of that? I'm just looking at the ceiling and there's like metal grates, but is that cement floor on top of that?
yeah, so most of the properties in Las Vegas are frame and stucco. This just has that architectural, open, exposed ceiling to give it that industrial feel. It's very unique to Las Vegas. Again, you don't see a lot of properties like this.
Okay.
It's going to be more, the last house that you just showed is more of a traditional property for Las Vegas. But this one is fun. And this is attractive to these younger buyers who would traditionally rent in Las Vegas. And to answer your question, the property taxes are about 1% in Las Vegas. So 1% of the purchase price. So you're looking at, 1,000 for the year, 1,100 for the year, which is cheap. It's comparative to rent,
yeah, that's amazing.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
So
to get this versus luxury Class A apartments, that's what my ex does. He builds Class A apartments in Las Vegas, and a 2-bedroom apartment in a good location is going to cost you $3,500. So, you're kind of like weighing out the options. Something like this would be very appealing to a younger buyer, checks all the boxes, close to the strip. And, the YouTubers and all these guys that are doing a lot of social advertising, they need a place that's very content worthy for filming their videos every day. And that property fits the mold of that content worthy type property.
It sounds like when you talk about F1 and all those sports teams, it sounds like a lot of jobs are getting created in the area. And it sounds like a rising real estate market. I mean, we've been talking about rising real estate markets around the country, hot markets. Is it still hot or is it cooling off? I mean, where would you say we are in the
So my focus is really like $1 million and up in Las Vegas. The average price is about $550. So I'm not really working with like the VA or FHA type financing, but our conforming loan limits is 805. So anything over 805, you're going to jump from 5% down all the way to 20% down. And that's been that challenge in that, let's call it 805,000 to, I would say, about 2 million. And then once you hit 2 million, those buyers are traditionally cash, so I'm not seeing a dip in my business at all. My industry is, the luxury market is still very much on fire here. And we're seeing a lot of, folks from LA and Southern California, they're doing the second home. Like we have a Four Seasons that is being built in the Henderson area. And, the units started about 3.5, but the beauty of it is you're 10 minutes from the airport. So if you're in a high tax state like California, we're going to use California. That's the biggest example. Now you can do the lock and leave. You've got 6 months in a day. You're in Vegas in 45 minutes. You can be back in Newport, San Diego, Manhattan Beach, Los Angeles, Manhattan Beach within a 45-minute flight JSX. And it's so convenient. You're on and off the plane and you can do the 6 months in the day for your tax purposes, but still have your beach house in Manhattan. And that's the beauty of having a second home here in Las Vegas. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing a lot of those high taxpayers wanting some sort of a shelter and really creating the residency here. And because
so I'm hearing 2 markets. My kid is going to look for that say sub $800,000 house. Typically it's going to be somebody like me who's going to be commuting back and forth and looking at that second home at that $1 million level and willing to pay up because I have a bigger down payment. I'm willing to pay up, get into that $1 million price point, $1 million or more, so that I can get closer to town and I can get those high ceilings and that erector set ceiling that you showed me.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's so many different products. Like that's one of the reasons why I love the Four Seasons. You get all the amenities of, the Four Seasons hotel experience, but it's lock and leave. You fly into town, you lock up your unit. You don't have to worry about maintenance. You just come and go as you please. And then you can rent your place out if you like as well. That's what I love about these new projects that are popping up all over Las Vegas. We have one in downtown Las Vegas that is also very affordable, starting in the 700s for a 1-bedroom. And that is right across, that's more in the artsy district. Elaine Wynn is building a $150 million museum there for all of her art. You have the theater right there with the Nevada Ballet, and it's all walking distance, and that's a downtown location, which is going to be a little more entry level affordable for people in the 700 range.
So you don't have any inventory problem there at all. I mean, you have lots of stuff being built and you have lots to sell.
We, not as much as I would say like LA or Manhattan, but it's true for every location, right? The nice properties that are staged and priced properly are going to sell quicker, right? Anything that's the median range is moving very quickly. So if it's something that's nice and it's nicely decorated and it's got the right location, it's moving quickly. I wouldn't say our inventory is certainly catching up, but that's on a luxury standpoint. So under $1 million, I'm not really sure, but the interest rates are definitely, making an impact for anyone that is in that qualifies under $1 million. They're really struggling with those payments, and the qualifying, like, it's not like, like in the 2006, like the guy at Taco Bell could get a loan, stated income, stated assets, and now they want your firstborn child. So the lending has really changed, just making it a little bit more difficult. But there's other options too. Like buyers can have sellers carry a portion of the note. We're seeing a lot of creative options out there for the buyers, and on a renting perspective for these younger, more millennial buyers that are getting into the market, it makes sense to get that loft style property, have a write-off versus paying, anywhere $3,500 to $5,000 for an apartment, Class A apartment. Like, you just have to weigh the options, and it's different for everyone, right? Not everybody wants home ownership. Some people like having the flexibility of being able to rent and, move when they want to move.
Cindy, what are we going to do about my Los Angeles daughter? There she is renting with 2 roommates.
Oh, it's so sad. It's so sad.
Renting with 2 roommates in like downtown LA. And I think, gosh, I don't want to wait. I mean, because prices continue to rise. So first of all, talk to me about timing. Is now the time? Are prices going to come down? Are they currently high? Where are the prices in LA right now?
So we have a lot of stubborn sellers.
Oh, I hate when that
goes down.
They read the papers and they think that it's a hot real estate market and they can just wait.
And I wish I could say we have tons of inventory of lots of great options. We don't. We have options. But the options we have are going to be the fixers. And I will tell you, millennials and our younger buyers, they either don't have the money to fix or they don't want to. And
they don't have the experience. I found I watched my parents fix up houses, but I find that most of the millennials I encounter did not grow up with that experience, and therefore it makes them very nervous to buy a project.
And that's where the value is in Los Angeles. You buy a project. What I'm seeing a lot of are the 30-somethings that are about to start families. That's who's looking to buy, on the lower end more than the single, person. Like, we're seeing like, okay, we're ready to start our family. Mom and dad's going to have to come out and help, because it's, you're buying your first home and you're in the $1 million range. Think about, like, that's crazy.
But I think you've shown me some single family houses that were like really cute, vintage, little houses cute. On little lots, vintage. I'm not afraid of doing work. So what neighborhoods would I have to go look at? How far out do I have to go to find that?
Yeah. So, I think you can find little jewels around LA. You will find little less in the beach cities areas. You will primarily find condos and townhouses. You're not going to see a lot of single family homes selling for under $1 million. And if you do, it's definitely a fixer.
All right. So I've got the map
we'll
on
have
the
a drive.
screen. There's LA. Where am I focused if I'm looking at $1 million? So first of all, orient us. That's LA. What Huntington Park, Inglewood? You told me Manhattan Beach and Redondo.
Yeah.
Out
All
of
along the ocean, good luck. Like
Okay.
you'll see a condo or two, a townhouse with really high HOAs and very low square footage. You're looking at 700 square feet, which might be a lot for, people in New York, but it's not a lot for us. And then, so let's see, I can't even point on this thing, but I would say if anything east of LA, you're looking good.
Yeah, but my daughter works for the movies, right? She's got to be.
Yeah,
near
what
the
area is she
studios.
in?
She lives next to the La Brea tar pits.
Oh, yeah. It's such a hot area. There's a lot of like creatives, filmmakers, fashionistas, up and comers. So there's not a lot of availability, but there are little homes on lots that you can fix up. And if it's fixed
Dawn,
up,
does she live in a little house or does she live in an apartment?
she'll primarily live in an apartment because the homes are not going to typically be in a neighborhood that you would feel comfortable having your daughter in.
Okay.
There's I was in LA for 6 months in 2022, and we ended up living in Silver Lake, which is on the east side, but it's like John, it's kind of like Williamsburg before it became Williamsburg. Very walkable, really nice communities. I don't know what the
Echo
pricing is
Park,
like now.
Silver Lake.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, we
absolutely.
loved it. It was great. And then I drive over to Beverly Hills, sit in traffic, but that's California. That's literally the life.
Your podcast on, like, listen in. Yeah.
Wait. So I just typed in Silver Lake, and it's not that far. Is that the Silver Lake right there? Silver Lake Dog Park?
Mm-hmm.
That's not
Yeah.
that bad.
No, it's pretty
That's not
central.
East LA. It's East Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's little great pockets. That's one of them. But and what's amazing is you can find something under $1 million, but you'll be also very close to something that's 3 and 4 million. Like there's a lot of new construction around there too.
Okay. So that's close enough to work and all the place to be near downtown LA or any of the studios or Hollywood. So this area, if you want to be close to work, this area that I'm looking at is it. And you like Silver Lake. Any other neighborhoods I should be looking
Well,
at?
also, she's currently living in downtown LA, correct?
Right next to the La Brea tar pits. Where's that?
Oh, downtown LA has some great high rises under $1 million with amenities. And I think they're, again, Misty and I really work in beach cities, so we don't have a huge familiarity with under $1 million outside of that area.
Okay, talk to me about Redondo Beach. Fine. We want to talk about, I know you want to get back to the beach, so let's talk about the
realizing that John did this show so he can figure out where his daughters are going to go. That's
yeah, clearly.
No, that's just like,
but
we better be
going to place her
referrals,
on the
John.
beach.
John, you better be coming to us for these searches.
I will. But I didn't think she could afford the beach. And you told me, you started the show by telling me we can't afford the beach. And yet here we are on Redondo Beach, 1,000 feet, 2-bedroom.
What? Say that again?
Well, this is you sent me this link, and it's 1,000 feet on Redondo Beach, and it's an apartment, and it says it's off market. But this is $1 million listing.
Yes, that one's actually under $1 million.
Okay.
Is that the right one? I don't know if that's the right one.
538.
That one looks renovated, so it's actually in that same community, but it's not renovated, and that's where the value is.
That's a bait and switch right there. Oh, not this one. It's renovated.
I didn't say that one. Yeah, it's one in that community, but that one was renovated.
Okay.
So what the value is and what we try to teach our parents is the value is in the renovation, because You buy something for just below $1 million, but you're remodeling it, then you can get something over $1 million.
So what's your advice for the LA market? Is the LA market, I mean, we watch these shows and they focus on the high end of the LA market. I don't really understand the $1 million market in LA. I mean, where are the opportunities?
You know, I'm going to tell you one really sweet little spot opportunity is in San Pedro.
Okay.
You can buy something under $1 million. It's an up and coming area also. It's not as sexy as Silver Lake or Echo Park area, but the value, you can actually get a single family home for under in the $1 million range.
So San Pedro is also near the water.
And you have views.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And starting to develop it. And so I think that in the future it's going to be, it's really going to grow. They're starting to do more water projects over there, which is going to be great, but you still have some ocean views in a lot of the properties because you're in the hills.
It's a little secret.
Put some links in the chat and I'll show them here. All three of you, if you want to put some links, and then we can follow those. So how is the market generally speaking? Is it on the rise in LA, or with a lack of inventory, or is everybody getting on an airplane or a bullet train and heading out to Las Vegas where they have all this excitement and the Sphere and F1 and new sports teams? Is Michele getting all of the good business?
We sent a lot of people to the desert, that's for sure. Yeah. Las Vegas, desert cities this past year, unbelievable. There are still opportunities. Our open houses, we're seeing 100 people a weekend still coming through.
And it's still a tight market. There's always a lack of inventory where we are.
And again,
in what price ranges particularly?
I mean, that was 1.6.
So $1.6 million, I put my house on the market. You're going to get 100 people through the open house?
Shoot, yes.
Shoot, yes.
Yes.
And is it going to sell in the first weekend?
You'll have offers the first weekend.
There'll be multiple offers.
Depends. It depends. I'll say this.
If it's fairly priced at $1.6 million.
If it's fairly priced and renovated, yes.
So your prices are
really
definitely
priced.
Prices are escalating. Your prices are definitely escalating.
Oh, yes.
Roberto, McKenzie, is that happening in New York?
It rose a tiny bit starting at the beginning of the year because it was an interest rate adjustment, but I think it's flattened off. And actually, if anything, if you're not priced right, you're not getting any action. I'm hearing of tons of open houses with no one showing up. So it's really affected us, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely neighborhood driven as well. There are just parts of Manhattan, West Village, Greenwich Village, Soho that are already very low inventory neighborhoods because they're historic and they're small buildings, and a lot of the housing stock is rental, not a ton of new condominiums, and then some smaller co-ops. And I would say neighborhoods like Tribeca, if you go a little bit kind of east of Tribeca, where you're in kind of just like the center of downtown right before you get to Chinatown.
A friend of mine calls that Tribeca Stan.
I know, and I just feel really, I feel like that probably shaves money off the asking price. But there are a lot of value plays in Manhattan, similar to California. A lot of it is unrenovated housing stock. And when you think of kind of a demographic of baby boomers who lived on the Upper East Side, which was the upper crust, the epicenter of wealth in Manhattan for the last 150 years, so much of that wealth has moved downtown. And so, a lot of those apartments that are coming on the market on Park Avenue, Fifth Avenue, Madison Avenue, which, were the epitome of luxury in New York, those apartments haven't been renovated in 50 years. So then you're looking to people who are in their 30s and 40s who do not want to renovate in a Park Avenue co-op because it will take them 3 years and 4 times the regular price. and it's causing a backlog of inventory. So New York is going through a lot of different shifts to try to address some of the issues just around the properties that we have, because co-op boards need to evolve to meet the market. And then the other half of that is just flying off the shelf. So, I mean, so John, I don't know where you would be living, but I can sell you a co-op tomorrow.
It sounds like I can still get a really, really good deal in New York. And several agents have told me that they said you would be surprised at how much value you can get. And prices are not peaked. Prices are off of the peak in New York, especially for 1-bedroom and 2-bedroom units. That COVID taught everybody that they want more space. They want an extra room in the house so they can work from home in a pinch. They want extra room out in the country, and they go out, and they leave town. They want more room. So pied-à-terres and 2 bedrooms are out of favor. Is that fair?
No, I don't think so. I think pied-à-terres are increasing. There are more and more people who want to buy pied-à-terre. I see it every day. But I'll give you, right before we got on, I just did a quick search, just to under $1 million, from 950, not 900, not 800, from 950 to $1 million in Manhattan, just to kind of get some certain sense of what's the best product for the lack of from the standpoint of pricing. There were 285 properties from 950 to $1 million. 144 of them were 1 bedrooms, 89 were 2 bedrooms, 19 were 3 bedrooms. 46% of them were condos. 81% of them had doormen. 77% had laundry in the building. 29% only had laundry in the apartment. 10% were in buildings with pools. 26% were in buildings with parking. 94% of them had elevators. 40% of them had health clubs. 7% had fireplaces. And that was pretty much the gist. But there's
what percentage had laundry in the unit?
20 in the unit was 29%.
See, that seems to me, tell me if I'm wrong, but that's a reason why millennials are like, I'm not paying up for $5,000 and $1 million in New York for a place where I can't even get laundry in the unit. I'm going to Las Vegas. Michelle, hook me up. 5,000 square feet and high ceilings and cool. And I got an Instagram studio in my apartment.
That's what they want. And I mean, honestly, I see all these kids like under 30, these YouTubers, these Instagrammers, they're driving Lamborghinis, they're spending $30,000-$40,000 a month on rent. There's 3 or 4 guys that are all, in the same industry, whether they're gamers on YouTube or whatever, they're all pitching in to get these big, very content driven properties where, they have this luxury mansion that they can showcase on their channel and live at the same time. So, I'm seeing a lot of renters. For the younger guys, they don't want to commit. They just want to have something that's fancy where they can park their Lambo and it looks good, on the gram or YouTube. That's what they want.
And it's a write-off.
People do not want to suffer to be in that crumbly, what do we call it? Pre-war? That crumbly pre-war in Chelsea.
The majority of my clients are people like you, John.
Bow tie wearing,
not a staffer with a bow tie and a gorgeous wife and a ballerina daughter. Not as fabulous, but in terms of having grown children at this point, I would say the majority of my clients who I'm selling for and the majority of buyers who walk through the door are parents who are in their age 50 to 70, whose kids are grown and whose kids are maybe thinking of having grandchildren. And so they want to have an apartment in Manhattan. So, grandma and grandpa can be close by. And so that's where, that is where I'm kind of seeing the biggest push for especially co-op buildings, because they are used to having more traditional space. They are used to having more square footage. A lot of them are coming back from the suburbs in Westchester, Connecticut, New Jersey, and beyond. And so that is a really helpful demographic that is really driving sales. And then of course our ultra luxury market is just on fire. Sales above $20 million saw a 140% surge in Q1. I know this is a show about 1 million, but there's just different segments of the market that are really moving. And then it just comes down to the quality of the apartment, because I love renovating stuff, but people my age, yeah, they won't even do it without a washer dryer. It's really insane.
There's so much value in it. I too, we also see a lot of parents helping their children, and it tends to be, again, those that just got married. And I think it's a lot of them are not from Los Angeles. So it's that sticker shock as to what they get for the money is something that we have to get over. But our quality of life is amazing because we are outdoors most of the year. You are eating outside. So you might have something you need to remodel eventually, but you're going out, you're enjoying life. You're not just sitting in that home the whole entire time. We do have some YouTubers and Instagrammers, but they're outdoors.
How important is open space, outdoor space? If I show a condo and it's like, well, there's a shared, pool and all that, or I can show you this little house on a little lot. Which market, the millennials or the empty nesters, are opting for which amenities? And that's actually a question for all of you. How do the amenity mix change as we move from first home, millennials, to second home, boomers?
I mean, what
I'll
seeing...
jump in and
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to comment, and I would say in the price point in Los Angeles, I don't know that they have a lot of options for a lot of amenities. But around here, I certainly see whether it's everybody wants some sort of outdoor space. So anything that has a yard is going to go for a premium price. Anything that has some sort of private yard is going to probably be more significant to the buyer than something that does have a community pool or some sort of amenity like that. That's what we're seeing in our market.
I just wanted a parking space for my daughter because when she was living in Koreatown, it was just way too anxious for her to go home at night and have to park 3 blocks for, look for a space in the neighborhood and then walk home at night. That's like a no-go. So some things we can live without, I guess, a yard. But some things we can't live without. I need to know that she's not wandering around Koreatown at night.
I mean, we've seen some of our clients that do not have a parking spot with their condo. So they get the little, what do you call those things? Scooters. So they park far and they scooter home. Healthy.
Roberto, McKenzie, is that even a thing in New York? Or do the kids just say, yeah, I'm not doing a car?
Cars are expensive to park. So, I mean, if you park close to Central Park West, for example, or if you're on Fifth Avenue, I mean, it could be $2,500 a month for an SUV. But like I park under Lincoln Center, I pay in the high 500s. And I think that's a deal. I have an SUV and I park under Lincoln Center and it's fantastic. At the same time, I don't use my car. The public transportation here is so comprehensive, and cabs and Ubers and things like that. You really don't need a car that much. More than anything, you need a car to get out of here on the weekend or to go somewhere. So, I mean, parking is extremely valuable. There are parking spaces that have sold for $1 million here. But I mean, like, for example, those buildings that I said from 950 to $1 million, only 26% of them had parking in the building.
Got it. And it's a must-have for somebody your age, not a must-have for your daughter's age, my daughter's age.
Not at all.
Although I will say a lot of people my age are getting cars. I mean, we have a car. A lot of people my age are electing to not start families and have children. So they're looking at different lifestyles where they're getting their second home. They're living their best boomer life, but without without the kids. And so they're getting these vehicles so that they can drive up, upstate out to the Hamptons, wherever they're purchasing.
Hang on a second. Just an interesting thing you said. So they're choosing not to have families or children at all, or just now?
At all.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you do a quick search anywhere online, on social media, there's a lot of focus on the percentage of population, between the age of 25 and 35, that they have all these different acronyms for them. But basically like high income earners with like 2 incomes and no kids and a dog. I forget what they call it.
I've always heard double income, no kids.
Yeah, thanks, exactly. So it's not just like, oh, we're gonna have them later. Truly, the number of my clients that are married and just not having kids and living their life is, I would say, over 70%. And I have a lot of clients. Yeah, so it's interesting. So they're getting hard.
Are you guys finding that in those other cities? That's wild.
We get most of our clients move in because of the schools, whether they have kids or not. They're planning. So we don't get a lot of dinks. We still get some, but not as many as
And so they're picking neighborhoods specifically. They will call you and say,
for us, it's all about the
I have $1 million or I have $2 million, and I am focused on the following school districts. Yes? Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Less so the commute, because the commute's terrible everywhere. It's all about the school.
It's about this. It's about the school and the lifestyle. So meaning like Manhattan Beach, you pay a premium, but it's 3.8 square miles. Your kids go to top school. Like the schools are amazing. They're like private schools. You have unlimited fresh air and beach. And I don't know, everyone knows everybody. So it's fascinating.
I'm starting to figure out that there is 2 markets. There's the LA and New York and what I'd call established markets. And then there's these emerging markets, and they're behaving totally differently. And I'm learning from Michele that I can have 15-foot ceilings and park the Lambo in the apartment, and admire the Lambo. I mean, just a totally different decision making. I can get 5,000 square feet for under $1 million in Las Vegas, and there's a lot of jobs getting created. No wonder these millennials are saying, I'm going to move to one of the emerging markets. I'm going to move to Florida. Some of my clients in New York who worked for related companies and other, major New York developers moved to Florida to do their jobs there because there was more space. They moved to Las Vegas because there's more space. They're moving to Colorado. They're moving to Austin. Then Austin got too expensive, and they moved to the rest of Texas. And Texas continues to tell me they've got plenty of room for all those millennials. And they've got plenty of $1 million homes and less than $1 million. So I'm wondering, I'm wondering if this is 2 different markets. The New York and LA market are behaving one way, and Las Vegas is another. Although Cindy tells me you got 100, 200 people still showing up in the established market.
Last weekend, it was insane. I'm like, oh, it's slowing down. No, we were busy. I will say we moved so many people to Texas, Las Vegas, Idaho, like all over the country. And quite a few of them moved back for the lifestyle.
Why is your lifestyle better than Las Vegas?
You just can be outdoors 24/7. Like in the wintertime, it's still nice.
I've been seeing a little bit of the opposite. I've been getting a lot of 1031 exchange clients coming from these emerging markets, from Las Vegas, from Phoenix, from Colorado, and buying in New York, which kind of blows my mind, but I'm happy to sell them. Happy to sell water to a whale if they want it. So it's a lot of 1031s. I'm curious if you guys have been seeing a lot of investment in your markets as well.
And these are the boomers coming back with their 1031s. Clearly, this is not first home. We're talking about people who said, I think I'll try it. Maybe they made money in Austin. Maybe they made money in the emerging market. And now they can 1031 their way back into because the New York market is not at a peak. So there's a value. There's a perception that there's high value in the trade.
Yes. I mean, if you bought last year in 2023, you could have gotten anywhere up to like a 15 to 20% discount, depending on the unit that you're looking at. We're now kind of, I would call the median is about 3 to 8%. So really about 5% discount market wide. Downtown, of course, much less, but the overall feeling on working on both the listing side and the buy side is there's some space for everyone, and it doesn't really matter the price point.
All right, we've got a few minutes left to go. I want to hear your predictions. I want to hear the forward-looking statements. I want to hear, give me a call. I can hook you up at $1 million. Now's the time, or what? So give me some forward-looking statements. Anyone? Our conclusion.
I think that in our area, everybody's held off for so long because they've been crying about the interest rates. I think eventually, and you can already see it, eventually people have got to start making moves. They've held on as long as they can. And when we see a dip in the interest rates, I think it's going to be a feeding frenzy, just like it has been recently in the past.
I don't even think we
could
need
see that just for, and maybe not. Eventually, people have got to they've got to start making some moves. They held on long enough to kind of feel out the market and see what was going to happen, and they've got to start making moves.
I think you're right.
Mm-hmm. Don't be afraid of the renovation. We can help you.
Really? Is the high value in looking for houses that need renovation?
Absolutely.
And is your prediction that those are going to get discovered and picked up and flipped?
Yes. They are. It just there's such a large percentage of buyers that are completely turned off by it. But I also believe that that's changing because they don't have a choice.
Can you get good people to do the work? Is it expensive?
We can get good people to do the work.
Great people to do the work.
Absolutely.
All right, Michele.
It's worth it. It's worth it.
All right, Michele, what's the prediction for Las Vegas? You already said with the Sphere and F1 and all the excitement coming to Las Vegas that you're pretty bullish on the next 5 years in Las Vegas.
I am. It's a completely unique market compared to the rest of the United States. And, like I said, our trajectory is going to continue to go up because it's still very appealing. We have Hollywood 2.0. It's not just the Sphere. It's not just the sports. It's just sports and entertainment as a whole. And I just see a lot of, that entertainment industry having a secondary home in Nevada or Las Vegas specifically for the tax break. So I don't see our prices going down anytime soon. I would agree with all the other gals. It's, if you want to make the move, now's the time to do it, because if the interest rates do go, they get a little more aggressive, you're just going to get outbid by your cash buyers. So, you kind of have to balance those two options out. But Vegas it's a great place to call home. It's not like, when you think of Vegas in the 50s, like with the Rat Pack, it's changed so much. We have 5-star, restaurants and activities, and there's just so much to do. And I'm just a 45-minute flight from my favorite place, Manhattan Beach, where Cindy and Misty live. It is truly one of the best places in the world. And, that's why their inventory is so low, because it's the best. But that's what's great about the Vegas LA commute. It's close.
Okay, Ryan, final word from Ryan. What have you got? I mean, McKenzie Ryan, sorry.
The New York freeze is over. It's an election year, so rates are going to come down. Prices will continue to rise. You'll have some time over the summer while people are out in the Hamptons to scoop something up. And honestly, focus on the space, get a good contractor, and make it work.
And who represents you matters?
Oh, of course. You got to get the best broker in New York, McKenzie Ryan.
I don't need to just go up on Street Easy. I need to find somebody who's like plugged in.
You need a New York City historian, native New Yorker, former Olympic gymnast trainee. So
Okay.
that would be me.
I think I need somebody who, who gets me. And it sounds like, you understand the difference between maybe what my daughter will think she wants and what I think I want for my daughter. So yeah.
I work with a lot of parent-kid combos. I get both sides.
That sounds good. All right. Well, this has been a great show. Roberto, what have you got for us?
No, I agree with everything, McKenzie, except for the fact that I'm a better broker than she is. I'm totally joking. I'm totally joking.
Be careful saying that to a competitor.
I'm a different generation.
All right. This has been a great show. I love this idea of the $1 million price point because I think it's something that it's approachable to all of us. And every one of us dreams about getting just like that one extra little spot. So I'm glad this worked out. This is a great show from my perspective. And I hope to get you all back and do it again soon. Thanks.
Thanks, you guys. Very impressive.
And tell all your friends, like it, subscribe, and, and we'll see you again next week. Thanks.
See you guys.